the President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. The anthem of the Republic of Ghana. Thank you. Kindly take your seats. President of the Republic of Ghana, Excellency John Mahama, Honorable Kobna Minta Akpando MP, Minister for Health, Mr. Peter Hall, President for Middle East, India, Turkey and Africa Informal Markets, Ministers and Deputy Ministers of Health from member countries, Ministers and Deputy Ministers of State, members of the Diplomatic Corps, senior government officials, partners from healthcare organizations across the globe, traditional leaders, heads of agencies, the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, bonjour, sabah al-khair, bon dia, welcome to WHX Leaders Africa. Our broad theme is catalyzing Africa's health revolution through investment, innovation, impact, and infrastructure. My name is Kafui Day. I'm delighted to be your master of ceremonies. For the next 2 days, we'll be focusing on very interesting and important topics. So our theme for day one, which is today, is mobilizing investment and strengthening Africa's healthcare infrastructure. And for tomorrow, we'll be looking at innovation, equity, and health security for Africa's future. We are delighted to have our title partners be part of this historic event, the second event: Siemens Healthineers, SNIDE Diagnostics, Roche Diagnostics, and Hologic. Our platinum partners include Organon, One Pharma, Al-Fahim Healthcare Solutions, Pfizer, Atlantic Life Sciences. For our gold partners, we are pleased to have with us Dedalus, Nihon Kohden, Pocket Patient MD, ECL Laboratory, Mobile, Health Technologics, and Illumina. Our silver partners include AGD, Hertz Medical, Life Care Technology, Mount Sinai International, Terumo Blood and Cell Technology, Human Diagnostics Worldwide, and Afrenza AdSem. Our impact partners include ABC Health, Healthcare Federation of Nigeria, Pharma Access, West African Institute of Public Health, Gates Foundation, Egypt Healthcare Authority, and Nigeria Health Watch. Our strategic partner is Africa Development Bank Group. And our venue partner is none other than Kempinski Hotel, Gold Coast City, right here in the beautiful city of Accra. And now to our first address, which is a keynote. But before that, let's take a look at this video.
Welcome to WHX Leaders, Africa's gathering of visionaries shaping the future. This year, the journey leads us to Accra, the beating heart of Ghana's vibrance and innovation. Under the patronage of His Excellency, President John Dramani Mahama, we are privileged to welcome distinguished ministers, alongside global VIP speakers and leaders driving transformation across the continent. This year, we unite under a theme that inspires change and drives progress. Together, we share ideas, build connections, and shape the future of healthcare across Africa. Ghana is ready to lead. The question is, are you?
And so our keynotes under the topic Africa's Healthcare in 2050, from emerging leader to global powerhouse. Our speaker is Minister of Health for the Republic of Ghana. Let's welcome Honorable Kwabena Mintah Akandor, MP. And in Ghana, we like to clap until he starts speaking. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Kafi. Your Excellency, President John Dramani Mahama, the President of the Republic of Ghana. Before I read my written remarks, I would want to use this opportunity to express my sincere gratitude for the high-level political will and the unparalleled direct support His Excellency has provided the health sector. Your Excellency, irrespective of your busy schedule, you traveled to Brussels for the gathering replenishment, where you challenged the conscience of the world during your speech. You again conveyed the Accra research and subsequently hosted health sovereignty meeting at UNGA in New York. Your Excellency, just last week, you led us in the ICASA 2025 with all the commitments. Today, again, you are here to grace the opening ceremony of WHS. Your Excellency, we are grateful for your leadership. Now my written speech. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, honorable ministers and government leaders, captains of industry and global investors, innovators, scientists, health champions, esteemed delegates, ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honor to welcome you to Accra for the WHX Leaders Africa 2025 Summit, Akwaaba. This gathering is more than an annual event. It is a call to mobilize strategic investment, forge meaningful alliances, and accelerate the emergence of world-class resilient healthcare systems across the continent. WHS has become a platform where ambition is converted into action and where Africa's vision for health sovereignty gains clarity, strength, and direction. But these 2 days, we are not here simply to talk about the future, we are here to build it. Your Excellency, for too long, Africa's health narrative was framed by scarcity. Yet, the Africa of today, and even more so the Africa we are shaping, demands a story rooted in possibility and capacity. By 2050, our continent will be home to 2.5 billion people, the youngest and most dynamic population anywhere in the world. The demographic force is not a burden, but a powerful competitive advantage that must be matched with the bold reforms and strategic investments. If we act decisively, Africa will not merely catch up with other regions, Africa will lead. WHS is a catalyst to accelerate that leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, a critical pillar of this transformation is our ability to produce the essential tools of healthcare. No continent can be sovereign whilst importing most of its medicines and nearly all its vaccines. To lead in 2050, Africa must invest in regional manufacturing hubs, strengthen pharmaceutical and medical device production, harmonize regulatory systems, and build strong public-private partnerships that accelerate technology transfer. Ghana's growing vaccine manufacturing capacities and regulatory reforms reflect our readiness to drive this continental agenda. Yet, even the strongest national vision cannot succeed without partnerships. Health sovereignty is not about working alone. It's about leading a collective effort. It requires development partners to align with Africa's priorities, not to create parallel systems. It requires regional integration, shared procurement, coordinated surveillance, pooled supply chains, and harmonized regulation. It requires partners who are willing to move beyond traditional assistance primary healthcare program, distinct from the Ghana Medical Trust Fund, removes financial barriers at the point of care and strengthens community-level delivery. It gives every Ghanaian a fair chance at early detection, disease prevention, and timely intervention. Supported by digital Complementing this is the Ghana Medical Trust Fund, which secures advanced care such as oncology, dialysis, complex surgeries, and specialized diagnostics. Together, these two instruments create a balanced, future-ready system capable of delivering equitable access and specialized excellence. Distinguished delegates, at this stage of our development, digital innovation has become the driving force behind our transformation. We are building a centralized national health intelligence database that will allow our real-time data analytics, greater transparency, and truly evidence-based decision-making at every level of the health system. To support this, we are developing a national middleware layer onto which all digital health platforms will be integrated. This ensures interoperability, national ownership of all data generated, and the ability to use that data to improve the lives of our people. This digital shift is strengthening governance, improving operational efficiency, and making our health system more responsive to the needs of our citizens. It is enabling us to track disease faster, allocate resources more efficiently, and hold ourselves accountable to higher standards of performance and transparency. Digital transformation is not an accessory to our reforms. It is the backbone of a modern sovereignty and people-centered health system. Preparing Africa for 2050 also requires modernizing our hospitals. Ghana is implementing a national retooling program that upgrades diagnostics imaging, strengthens laboratory and pathology services, expands dialysis capacity, and integrates digital systems that support rapid clinical decision-making. These investments transform our hospitals into modern centers of excellence and position us to confront both current disease burdens and emerging trends with precision and speed. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, if Africa embraces bold action and collective effort, the continent that emerges in 2050 will be profoundly different. Africa will be a global hub for pharmaceutical and vaccine production. Our hospitals will be digitally connected and AI-enabled. African researchers and entrepreneurs will shape global science. Our financing scheme systems will support universal access. And Africa will take its rightful place as a leader in global health governance. But to reach this future, partnership is not optional, it is indispensable. This summit must therefore produce outcomes that endure. Government must demonstrate clarity and courage. Investors must recognize that Africa is not a peripheral opportunity, but the world's most promising health frontier. Innovators and the youth must drive solutions that stretch the boundaries of possibility. Development partners must do more than support Africa. They must stand with Africa, align with Africa, and invest in Africa on African terms. Your Excellency, in conclusion, we call for partnerships that are respectful, strategic, and transformative. Partnerships that build institutions, not bypass them. Partnerships that strengthen local capacity, not replace it. Partnerships that deliver value to all parties, not just one side. Partnerships that see Africa not as a recipient, but as a co-architect of global health. Africa is ready for such partnerships. Indeed, Africa deserves such partnerships. Let this summit be remembered as the moment Africa chose ambition over caution and unity over fragmentation. Let it be the moment when government, investors, innovators, and development partners agreed that Africa's future will be shaped through shared effort and shared responsibility. Africa's ascent begins now. Together, let us build a healthier, stronger, more sovereign continent, one fully capable of leading the world into a new era of global health experience. I'm most grateful for the opportunity.
Thank you, Health Minister Kobna Minta Akando, for taking us on a trip into the future and leaving a picture of what healthcare would look like in Africa in 25 years' time. And now we will hear from the President of Info Markets for Middle East, India, Turkey, and Africa. Let's welcome, with a warm WHX Leaders welcome, Mr. Peter Hall.
Your Excellency, John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana, thank you so much for your presence this morning. Excellencies, distinguished guests, colleagues and friends, good morning, Akwama. It is a profound honor to welcome you to WHX Leaders Ghana. This exclusive invitation-only gathering is not simply an assembly of expertise, it is a call to action. WHX Leaders represents a bold, collective ambition to accelerate the transformation of Africa's health systems through deeper partnership between government, industry, and healthcare leadership. By convening ministers, senior public sector decision makers, private sector trailblazers, and C-suite executives, we are aiming to create a powerful platform, one capable of shaping investment priorities, informing policy pathways, and unlocking scalable, sustainable solutions that can improve millions of lives. This is where ideas meet influence and where influence becomes impact. We are extremely honored and privileged to hold this event under the distinguished patronage of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, whose steadfast commitment to strengthening Africa's health landscape continues to inspire courageous, future-focused leadership across the continent. At Informa Markets, our purpose is clear: to connect people, to enable progress, and to help drive meaningful transformation. Your presence here today reflects the trust that you have placed in us, and we embrace that responsibility with conviction. We are committed to ensuring that WHX Leaders is not only insightful, but truly catalytic, a platform that sparks new alliances, amplifies local and regional ambitions, and accelerates the momentum that Ghana and Africa truly deserve. Thank you all for being here. I look forward to the conversations, commitments, and concrete actions that will emerge from this room. Actions that will shape a stronger, healthier future for Africa. Thank you very much.
Conversations, commitments, and concrete actions. Thank you very much, Mr. Hall, for reminding us of what to expect at WHX Leaders for the next 2 days. If you are posting on LinkedIn, please use the hashtag WHX Leaders. Look forward to panel discussions, networking activities where you get to meet speakers and representatives of companies, and more keynotes, and ministerial addresses. And the next address is a keynote from the Minister for Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, Republic of Ghana. She's looking at the topic of Made in Africa, Saving Africa, Creating World-Class Local Health Manufacturing Ecosystems. Let's welcome Honorable Elizabeth Ofosu Ajare, MP.
Thank you very much, Kafi. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, President John Dramani Mahama, Minister for Health, Honorable Minta Akando, Honorable Ministers of Health from other countries, Peter Hall, Informal Markets, Senior Government Officials, Chief Executives, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, friends from the media, good morning. I have the honor to join my colleague, Honorable Minister for Health, to welcome His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana, and ministers from other countries to the World Health Expo 2025. Your Excellency, your presence here today is a testament of your commitment to transforming the health needs of this country and other countries in Africa. For those visiting the shores of the first time in Ghana, you are welcome to Accra, the beating heart of Ghana and the commercial hub of Africa, home to the Secretariat of Africa Continental Free Trade Area. We are very proud of that as a country. This summit is more than an event. It is a clarion call to transform African healthcare through bold investment, resilient infrastructure, groundbreaking innovation, and unwavering equity. Your Excellency, imagine an Africa where every child has access to essential medicines without delay, where vaccines are produced within our borders, and where health crises no longer cripple our economy. That vision is not a dream, but a call to action. And today, under the theme, the African Health Revolution, laying the foundation for local manufacturing powerhouses, we answer that call. For too long, our continent has relied on distant shores for medicines and vaccines and medical technologies. Global crises have exposed vulnerabilities, inequities in access, and economic drain of dependency. The time has come for a health revolution rooted in local manufacturing, powered by our ingenuity and fortified by unity. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me highlight 6 areas that I believe, as government officials, private sector operators, regulators, research institutions, financiers, experts, and development partners would deeply reflect as we discuss the theme to reset our health sector in Africa. Don't be afraid, 6 points, 6 lines. First, coherent, transparent policy and regulatory framework, modern infrastructure and capacity building, long-term competitive financing and smart partnership, enhancing regional integration and market access, stimulating innovation and technology transfer, and finally, ensuring sustainability and resilience. In Ghana, I am very proud that under the transformational leadership of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, we are leading this transformation. You have to clap for him. We are creating investment-friendly policies, aligning our regulatory systems with global standards, and committed to building industrial parks and clusters dedicated to pharmaceutical and medical device production. These are not isolated projects, but pillars that underpin our new health economy. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you will agree with me that infrastructure alone cannot deliver this revolution. That is why we are investing in human capital, training scientists, engineers, and innovators who will power this industry. My colleague Minister for Health is championing public-private partnership, unlocking financing, and embracing technology transfer
to accelerate progress in the sector. And as Minister for Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, we are thinking beyond borders. Through the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, Ghana is positioning itself as a regional hub, the gateway for health products made in Africa, for Africa, and for the world. This revolution demands continental solidarity, sharing knowledge, pooling resources, and harmonizing policies to create manufacturing powerhouses that serve all of Africa. Your Excellency, let us commit to incentives that attract investment, tax breaks, and intellectual property protection that encourage innovation without exploitation. To private sector executives, invest in Africa, not just as a market, but as a partner, building factories that employ our youth, transfer technology, and prioritize sustainability. To innovators, harness Africa's digital leap and biotechnological potential to create solutions that are affordable, accessible, and adaptable. And to all of us, let equity be our guiding star, ensuring rural communities, women and marginalized groups are at the forefront for the true health security that knows no borders or biases. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellencies, in the words of our Pan-African forebears, we are one people with one common destiny. Together, we can mobilize the billions needed, strengthen supply chains against future shocks, and build an Africa where health is a right, not a privilege. So today, I extend an invitation to investors, private sector operators, researchers, development partners to deepen their partnership with governments to revolutionize the health sector. Together, we can turn Africa's health sector into a powerhouse of resilience, prosperity, and pride. The time for action is right now. The African health revolution begins here. Let us build it together. And may God bless our collective efforts. Thank you very much.
And after a workout like that, why can you not be healthy? Definitely, it's a full workout, and it's a beautiful performance of Jara from Northern Ghana. Thank you so much for that vigorous display of Ghanaian culture. We thank the Minister for Trade and Agribusiness and Industry for her statement. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's rise as we welcome our keynote speaker, His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, President John Dramani Mahama.
Let me warmly welcome our visitors, our traditional leaders, ministers of state, senior government officials, and especially our visiting ministers of health from sister countries. I want to give you a very warm welcome. It's interesting. I mean, when I was watching the dancing, I remembered my lessons in social anthropology when I did history in university. And it said that because of the savannah, which is flat and has open spaces, dances from the north are very vigorous with a lot of jumping and, they have enough space. And then dances from the forest area are very limited in movement, like Adoa, and they insist more on grace than on vigor, and so let me thank the dance ensemble for that beautiful performance. I'm happy to be with you. Indeed, I had to travel miles to get here, from Doha to Abidjan, and arrived yesterday evening just to be on time for this all-important conference. And after the minister spoke, I did realize that it's true. I've attended more health-related events than any other sector. It shows how important healthcare is, in terms of the welfare of our people. I've been having a few thoughts. When I was vice president and under my boss, Professor John Ibasata Mills of blessed memory, we realized that a lot of the diagnostics equipment in most of our healthcare facilities were non-functional. And so we decided to do a major retooling of all our hospitals. And so we installed MRI machines, CT scan machines, X-ray machines, re-equipped our laboratories. I mean, it was a major retooling exercise. It cost us in excess of $250 million. And of course, our assumption was that we had brought our healthcare back up to scratch. I'm saying this because I realized that PPPs are not optional anymore. They are a must. And I'll tell you why. Several years later, I reincarnate as the president again. I was sworn in January. And we launched the Ghana Medical Trust Fund, which is called Mahama Cares. And just 2 weeks ago, the board and leadership of Mahama Cares came to brief me on the operationalization of the fund. Finance Minister was very generous. He allocated to the fund 2.1 billion cedis, and that is over $200 million, because we realized that our major cause of morbidity today is non-communicable diseases. Non-communicable diseases account for more than 45% of Ghana's morbidity. And because of our changing lifestyle, cancers, cardiac incidents, high blood pressure, diabetes, liver failures, kidney failures have become very common. And so they came to meet me and said, I mean, we have the money to start, to pay claims and, enroll people on the program. But Mr. President, there's a major problem. Yes, what's the problem? There are no diagnostics equipment. MRIs are broken down, CT scans are broken down. There's limited cancer treatment outside Accra and Kumasi, which are two major cities. And so it's not about the availability of the money to help to pay the high cost of treatment, but even the equipment, both to diagnose and treat, are in limited supply. Indeed, there's an example of one particular hospital which we built 9 years ago. I came back as president to find that not one single of their equipment is working. No CT scan is not working. If they have to do a CT scan, they have to put you in an ambulance, take you to a private facility, do the CT scan and bring the report back. If they have to do an MRI, they have to take you out and do it and bring you back. I mean, all the advanced equipment we put in that, model of a hospital are all broken down. And so, obviously, it shows that the private sector is better at delivering and maintaining those services than the government sector. And so we spoke with the Ghana Medical Trust Fund, and I said, it's not acceptable that you live or die depending on which part of Ghana you live in. If you live in the north and you have a cancer, you either have to move your whole family physically and come and live in Accra or Kumasi to be able to get cancer treatment. If you live in some part of the country and you have to do dialysis, and I have the example of one of my assemblymen who died. He was an assemblyman when I was member of parliament, and he had to do dialysis twice a week. He had to move his family, rent a place in Kumasi to be able to do the dialysis, twice a week. Eventually, by the time he died, he left his family impoverished. He sold his house, he sold his car, he sold all his property and died. And he left his family very impoverished. And so it's a big challenge we face, and it behoves on us as leaders to ensure that we spread medical care so that wherever you are geographically in our countries, you can be sure that you get a certain standard of quality care. And we can only do that if we combine forces with the private sector. And so what I told Mahama Cares, the Medical Trust Fund is otherwise called Mahama Cares, named after me. But what I told them was, look, we're going to put money into diagnostics and treatment facilities, but we'll only do it if we do it in conjunction with the private sector. We're not going to repeat the mistake we made and put all those expensive equipment in government hospitals only to come back 5, 6, 7 years later and all that equipment is not working. And so the private sector, this is the opportunity to partner with government to make sure that we have universal health care in Ghana. But I think that Ghana faces similar problems like many of our other African countries. And so this is an example from our country, but I think that it applies in many other areas. It's normal for me to do something like that. After that, I have a speech that I'll inflict on you. Mercifully, it's short. Mercifully, the speech is short, and so I'll be out of your faces in a short while. And so on behalf of the government and people of the Republic of Ghana, I am honored to welcome you to Accra, a city of ideas and courage and a meeting point for continental renewal. Today we gather for the second edition of the WHX Leaders Africa Summit under the resonant theme, Catalyzing Africa's Health Revolution Through Investment, Innovation, Impact and Infrastructure. This summit is not merely an event on our calendar, It is a defining continental moment, a moment when Africa asserts its rightful place in the global health architecture, and when we recommit ourselves to building a future in which our own agency shapes our health security, scientific leadership, and health economies. We meet at a time of profound global shifts. Health systems are being redesigned, supply chains are being rewired, and new geopolitical realities are forcing every region to rethink the issue of resilience. These transformations present both a challenge and an opportunity. But the truth is simple. Africa cannot afford to be a bystander. Africa must be a participant. Across our continent, a new generation of innovators and entrepreneurs is emerging. We see advances in biotechnology, digital health, vaccine research, and medical manufacturing. We see the massive potential of the African Continental Free Trade Area, the world's largest free trade area by population, opening a new frontier for health markets and industrial expansion. Yet our vulnerabilities remain visible. We have persistent inequities, fragile supply chains, limited manufacturing capacity, and insufficient investment in primary health care and emergency preparedness. COVID-19 exposed these weaknesses dramatically, reminding us that in moments of global crisis, Africa often is the last to receive support. Those experiences taught us a hard lesson, that no continent is safe until every continent is safe. But they also illuminated Africa's path towards, they also illuminated Africa's path forward, a path that is defined by health sovereignty, not in isolation, but in partnership that respects African priorities, African leadership, and African expertise. Health sovereignty means aligning global assistance with country-led strategies, empowering the Africa CDC, AMA, and regional regulators, building capacity to manufacture vaccines, medicines, diagnostics, and health technologies on African soil, strengthening surveillance and early warning systems and emergency preparedness, investing in Africa's health workforce, the backbone of our systems. These priorities align squarely with Agenda 2063, the Africa CDC, New Public Health Order, and global commitments under SDG 3. Our task now is to move from ambition to execution. Ghana is proud to contribute to this continental transformation through 3 interconnected initiatives. And the first one is the Ghana Medical Trust Fund I was talking to you about. The Ghana Medical Trust Fund program is our flagship national mechanism for sustainably financing specialized and high-cost medical treatment, including cancers, dialysis, advanced surgeries, and chronic disease management. Too many families have suffered financial devastation from these diseases. Mahama Care seeks to break that cycle. It positions Ghana as a regional hub for specialized care, advanced research, and cutting-edge innovation. To complement this, we also, that is the second initiative, will implement a universal free primary health care program, ensuring that cost never prevents any Ghanaian from receiving essential care. This initiative strengthens community health systems, expands digital health services, and shifts our health model decisively towards prevention, early detection, and community-driven care. And the next is retooling and modernizing health facilities. Our ambition requires a strong modern infrastructure base. We're committed to, under a PPP, retooling our health facilities, and this includes with modern imaging and diagnostic systems, upgraded laboratories, strengthened dialysis services, biomedical engineering reforms, and resilient smart supply chains. Crucially, Ghana is inviting private sector partners, and this is what I was talking about, into strategic PPPs to expand diagnostic imaging, laboratory network, and specialized services nationwide. These three pillars are not isolated programs. They form the backbone of Ghana's health transformation agenda and our contribution to the broader African sovereign health ecosystem. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Africa seeks a new paradigm of partnership, one that is defined not by dependency, but by co-investment, innovation, and shared values. So we call on vaccine manufacturers to partner with us to build African vaccine production hubs. We call on pharmaceutical companies to expand into biologics, generics, and essential medicine manufacturing in Africa. Diagnostics, innovators, biotech firms, and medical device producers to establish assembly plants, R&D centers, and fabrication facilities here in Africa. And DFIs, private equity firms, venture capital, and philanthropies to co-finance Africa's health industrialization. The conditions have never been more favorable. The African Continental Free Trade Area offers a unified market of about 1.3 billion. A growing innovation ecosystem is ready for acceleration. The African Medicines Agency is strengthening regulatory harmony. And most importantly, political will across the continent is very strong and aligned. And so the table is set. The opportunity is enormous, and the moment is now. To our doctors, nurses, midwives, pharmacists, scientists, allied health professionals, and community health workers, this new era is yours. Your dedication, resilience, and brilliance sustain our nation. And to our young African innovators, our AI developers, medtech creators, and digital health entrepreneurs, the future of African healthcare will be shaped by your imagination and your ingenuity. We're building this new health order with you and for you. A healthier Africa will be a more prosperous Africa. A more resilient Africa will strengthen global security, not hurt it. A more innovative Africa will enrich the global health ecosystem. We have the vision, we have the talents, we have the determination. What remains is to forge the partnerships that believe, as we do, that Africa's rise is integral to global progress, and that Africa is not in contest with anyone. And so let this summit be remembered not for discussions, but for commitments that come out of it. Not for intentions, but for investments. Not for aspirations, but for implementation. Let the partnerships that are birthed here be bold and think out of the box. Let the agreements reached here be transformative. And let our decisions echo through generations and generations to come. And so it's with pride and optimism, and it's my honor and privilege to declare the WHX Leaders Africa 2025 Summit officially open. Thank you, and may God bless Africa. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President, for your keynote address. A couple of announcements. We'll have 3 panels after the pause, the cocoa break, coffee break. So there are 3 panel discussions, one on advancing women's health in Africa, challenges, innovations, and opportunities for family planning, to be moderated by Desta Lakiu of Amref Health Africa headquarters. We'll also be having, before that panel, a panel on the African Health Revolution, laying the foundations for local manufacturing powerhouses, to be moderated by Dr. Linda Decker, President of the West African Private Healthcare Federation, Ghana. And right after the break, which is happening shortly, our first panel will be on building the future of African healthcare, strategic infrastructure development, to be moderated by Professor Salim Hasham, Global Advisor, Africa, CEDAS, Sinai International, USA. We have health delegations from various African countries, Benin, Somalia, Botswana, Burkina Faso, Gambia, Nigeria, Egypt, South Sudan, Senegal, Guinea, and Guinea-Bissau. Can we respectfully have the heads of all these country delegations up on the stage? And to join them, we'll have the Minister for Health, Minister Akando, we'll have the Minister for Trade, Agribusiness, and Industry, as well as Mr. Peter Hall from Informal Markets, and we'll have the President to join them as well as Ambassador Nancy Sam, the Ghana coordinator for WHX Leaders. So can we have the heads of all the delegations up on the stage? Ambassador Nancy Sam, Minister Akando, Minister Ofusua Jari, Mr. Hall, and Mr. President right in the middle of this gathering of the great and the good. Please confirm that they are indeed smiling. Are we done with the photos? Down. All right. Thank you very much for the photos. Thank you, Mr. President, and all our guests. We're taking a cocoa break right after this session. Can we rise for the anthem of the Republic of Ghana? Mr. President will be leaving us shortly. We'll inspect the stands before we go. Mr. President will take his leave of us. We'll inspect some of the stands outside. We'll take our coffee break. We are back at 11.